Better? Mike, how's it look?
I got Mike. I got the old mic on the phone. I got the new mic, Leah, behind the camera. So we're trying to take two on the live episode again. What's the feedback we're getting? Mike, are we good now or no?
The video looks better.
Okay.
How about the audio?
Can you hear us?
It's waiting. Like I'm not hearing you guys.
All right, why don't you unplug and replug maybe? Hold on 1 second, Mike.
Some people, they're saying back, I can see and hear you loud and clear.
All right,
Video, audio, good.
so we shall assume that it's on, the problem is on Mike's head. And carry on. All right, Mike, I'm gonna hang up. We have an episode to shoot. All right, guys.
We had our IT help, so.
All right. All right, so let's restart the episode, guys. I hope everything is all right. Keep commenting, please. Again, let me repeat. So the special guest is Brendan. Originally it was supposed to be Enrique, but he got off the plane not feeling good, and this morning he was feeling even worse. So we're gonna have to pretend you have to up your mustache game. We will train the mustache. Second thing is, guys, I will post tomorrow a picture of what we tried to accomplish, and clearly we failed. We were trying to hook up. We had 3 microphones. We have YOLO board wires up the wazoo, and that sort of torpedoed us for the first try at this. We're going to troubleshoot after we finish. So we're going to go through the episode. Hopefully this works well. We're going to go over a fairly common leg entry. Again, I would not consider this a super high level entry. A lot of guys, real good leg lockers, they tend to enter, various ways, X guard, false reap, regular reap. But a lot of times, it's almost a top person passing guard. It's almost, they give him this entry, and it can either come from a knee shield, it could come from just a simple inversion. A lot of times when I pass guard, I usually will keep the outside leg behind and try to lead with the front leg. Now, a lot of people, sometimes it just happens, they get off balance, or they just kind of get impatient and they start to lead with the outside leg, which now you're giving the guy an entry into leg locks. And this is pretty dangerous because right now, if Brendan just arches into it, this is a quick knee bar. If I fall, he has the possibility to drop me to my right, or if he continues to invert, he can drop me the other direction. And if my leg is straight, there's a knee bar. If my leg bends, there is heel hooks. Okay? So this is a very common way. I would say that among people that kind of like leg locks, I wouldn't consider them super high level leg lockers, but this is a very common entry. What makes it dangerous is that a lot of times when people go into leg locks, they need to off balance you and attack the leg. The leg that's being attacked cannot have the foot on the floor. If the foot is on the floor, it's safe. Until the foot comes off the floor, then it's vulnerable to knee bars, toe holds, ankle locks, heel hooks. In this case, and in cases of most knee bars, if that foot stays on the floor, all they have to do is arch into it and you can be hit with a standing knee bar. So a lot of times when people defend leg locks, all they need to do is put weight on that foot and basically be safe. And then either dismantle the entanglement and move along, or basically just stand their ground, and if they can maintain their balance, the leg never gets taken. In this case, you need to respect that because, like I said, all the guy needs to do is arch into it and you get hit with a standing knee bar. So with that understanding, you have to react to it. So again. So again, I would consider this, so normally this is how I would approach a seated guard, okay? But sometimes, or even if the guy is down, I'm still gonna try to approach it in this manner. But a lot of times people start to get to this position. Now, this is, if I get hit with standing knee bar, the problem is I need to buy myself time. I cannot turn my kneecap because my foot is firmly planted. Now, if he's below my knee, I can deal with this. There's no problem. But if he's above my knee, this is a problem. So usually what I'll do is you have to remember two things. One is I need to turn my kneecap because I'm literally this close to being submitted. So as I fall, I turn my kneecap. So by falling, a controlled fall on my part, I don't want him to knock me down because then at that point I have to react to pain. So I'm turning my kneecap. So I turn my kneecap from facing Brendan's torso and his hips to basically somewhat, my knee brace shifted, but according to the knee brace, it's pointing straight up to the ceiling. My kneecap is actually pointing slightly to the left. Ideally, I'd like to be completely opposite. So now he has to follow. So he has to rotate to catch up to my kneecap. That's a big movement and it takes time. Second, I keep my foot straight. So I don't want, the reason I don't bend it right away, because if I bend it here, Brendan can just switch into a heel hook very easily. So right now I keep my leg booted and basically straight, which basically only allows him a knee bar. But in order to accomplish that, he has to rotate, and that's a big movement. This is where the second part comes in. Brendan, can you move around like that? So this is where this is extremely important. This is where people fail. They usually kind of stop the attack on the kneecap temporarily. That buys you time. Doesn't get you out. This foot is doing nothing. Or they get the foot here and they just, you don't have time for two. You basically have time for one. You slip, you just got caught. So as soon as I fall, my foot goes, I don't really care where. I usually like to put it somewhere on the upper part of the leg. And the reason for that is it's unlikely to slip. And from here, I don't lay down and I'm not sitting up. I basically prop myself up and use this. This is a brace. So I don't kick him off. To kick him off is not easy. What I use it as a brace to pull my knee line out. From here, I don't really care what happens. You can go back. Just don't let him re-attack the leg. I'm going to do it a little bit faster, and I'm going to go again slowly how it's supposed to look like. Again, keep in mind it has to have both elements. If you only hit one, he can re-attack that leg. Turning your kneecap only buys you time, which you need because you're very close to being submitted. So once you buy that time, the next thing it's going to be is you need to escape. So again, so we're going to do it faster. Go. That's it. Notice where I put it, guys. If you're going to play with this, if you're going to drill this, don't drill this fast. Drill it slow because this placement is critical. Don't forget, a lot of times, these attacks are very common, especially in NoGi, right? Because leg entries are much more common in NoGi. A lot of times people are sweaty. So if your foot slips, you just got leg locked. You just, basically, he just took the time that you gave yourself back because your leg slipped. So you cannot afford to do that. You have to make sure that the placement is good. So let's look at it slow again. So as he enters, as he goes in, so basically right now I cannot turn my kneecap. By falling, I can. As I'm falling, my kneecap is pointing in the opposite direction where it was. I put my foot where I can push it off and then slip my knee line. Guys, I tried to go all the way out, but from here you're safe. It's very hard for him to regard. To re-attack the leg. Now, notice again, I tried to put it, I don't put it under his shoulder, I don't put it here. anywhere here to make sure that that pull is really strong, and there's no way that he can attack the legs. Elia, do we have any questions?
Regarding this, no, not yet. We just had something off topic about closed guard, but
Okay,
not
we
about
can
this.
go to that. Is this working?
I think, yeah.
Is this working?
Yeah.
Is this thing on? All right, so we got audio and video.
Yes, and we have viewers.
Okay, that's good. Hopefully we'll figure it out. Next week, guys, we're gonna be filming in Sicily, and then. By the way, I posted something on Facebook and Instagram yesterday. I'm looking for, so I do about 6 camps a year. I don't want to do more than 6 or 7. So some of the locations we do on a recurring basis, and we might, we're looking for 1 or 2 more. So your suggestions, I sort of wrote out what the considerations are. We need a local contact because we need to have somebody that helps us figure out where, we can have the training sessions and so forth. So next week we're going to be filming from Sicily, hopefully in the episode. So we're just going bare bones on that one, but hopefully in 2 weeks we'll have it figured out. You should see this thing. It's a thing of beauty. We got a light, we got YOLO board.
I've never seen so many wires.
A lot of wires, but we're back to the same way we've been doing it.
We actually did just get one question.
Yes.
They're saying that they get heel hooked. Are they turning too much?
So it's very simple. Yeah, no, you're not turning too much. You're bending your leg. It's a very simple rule. If the guy's leg is straight, it's a knee bar. It's very difficult to hit a heel hook when the leg is straight. If the leg bends, it's heel hook time. It's that simple. It's sort of like, think about it just like in your arms. If the arm is straight, you're going for an arm bar on the elbow. The arm bends, you transition the pressure into the shoulder. It's the same thing with leg locking. The leg is straight, knee bar. Leg bends, heel hook. So what I'm doing is I'm almost dictating where he can go. And there's always going to be a lag because now he has to react to what I present him with. So let's look at it one more time. So as I'm passing sort of, I would say a little bit carelessly, right now it's a knee bar because my leg is straight. So as I go down, I'm actually keeping my leg fully straight. Here, let's rotate. I'm keeping it fully straight. So it's very difficult for Brendan to switch into a heel hook. Right now, go ahead. Yeah, the heel is not quite there. Okay? Because he needs to get under the heel. And I usually try to, if I basically, but I'm dictating for him to go for a heel hook. As he tries to go for the heel hook, I try to block, I try to maybe come back up. So basically what I'm trying to do is give him a knee bar as the option. If I bend this, then it's easy for him to enter into the heel hook. It's a lot easier. So basically I'm dictating knee bar. So for now, the most important thing is knee bar. But once I get my foot, I'm flexing that leg. This is actually easier for him to enter to get over my toes than this. From here, once I decide to slip, then I'm gonna straighten out my foot and get out, okay? Anytime, if you fall in this position, you basically, anytime that leg is bent, that's what he needs, that's where he's going for a heel hook. Going for a heel hook on Brendan's part is lesser movement than going for the knee bar because now he has to move his hips in a big way. And even if somebody moves the hips in such a big way, a lot of times there's an opening when they get to their knees. A lot of times people rotate posting on their head or their elbows or both and getting to their knees. But that's a big movement. A lot of times things open up in this position right here. And this is also a good time before he rolls through. Once he rolls through, everything tightens up. So you have to pay attention that anytime somebody, I generally, when I attack legs, I start with a knee bar because first of all, it controls the opponent's leg fully. That's the most important thing. Second, it presents me with a lot of options. Knee bar basically allows me to knee bar you, and there's a variety of different grips, guys. I can knee bar you even if you twist your leg. We've covered that in different episodes. But if he bends the leg, I can either go for a straight ankle lock, or I can go for a heel hook. So usually I attack with the knee bar intent, and then depending whether if he keeps the leg straight, I will knee bar him. If he bends the leg, then I'm going to go to heel hook. All right, so keep that in mind. Again, you're in a critical point. You're this close to being finished, so you need to make sure that you kind of understand what you're doing and how they must react to your movement to be able to stop them before it actually happens.
Okay. We just had I think they just needed to see the rotation of how you're rotating your knee as you're falling, because they're asking, how does the knee bar keep your leg from rotating to keep the knee bar?
Because I need to be able to turn my leg. I cannot, if I'm standing with a lot of weight on that, I cannot turn my leg. But, so as he attacks the kneecap, right? He attacks with the knee bar here. I cannot turn my leg because my foot is planted, and obviously so is my hip. But once I fall, this is what I do. So he controls the control of the leg is such that it controls the whole length of the leg, but not the rotation. By falling, as I'm falling, I'm basically, this is what I'm doing. And the second one is coming in immediately. This, I'm flexing. Once I push, now I'm going to basically do this. Then I straighten out the leg and try to get it out as quickly as I possibly can. I just commit to making the second leg posting on first try, and it's posted firm. And once I pull, that this goes out on the first pull. There is no second pull. That's what you drill. Place the leg that's not under attack in a good spot on the first try. And then when you pull, one pull, not two. All right?
Looks good.
So now let's move on to the next topic.
Yes. So the question was, because he likes to play close guard as their passing guard. Any ideas for how to get close guard as they're passing? Or close guard, setting up close guard basically as they're passing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
From are they on their feet? It's a lot easier if they're on their knees. I'm assuming they're on their feet. So as you know, personally I prefer split guard, even NoGi. So as the guy's passing, right? So I'm basically off balancing Brendan. So right now, I have 4 grips. There's one that's more important than others. It's this one. So as soon as the problem becomes that as Brendan strips this one, I have to recover. If I cannot, your guard is going to get passed. You need to make sure you maintain that dominant grip. I don't really care what guard you play, but there is, out of the 4 grips, this is the most important one. If he strips this, I go into sort of recovery mode first before I go back. Now, once I can kind of get ahead of him a little bit, where I placed it, and I not only placed it, but I actually used it. Now, this is where my preference is, because split guard to me is offensively the best guard. So right now, Brendan, if he puts that hand on my foot, I can control it easily again. He has to keep it on the floor to maintain base, because now I'm threatening with a quick submission. Okay? Now, but from here, all you got to do is just pull, and you have close guard. Now, I don't advocate close guard, especially NoGi. So it's in the gi. So if I go close guard in the gi, I have cross collar chokes. You got loop chokes. You have a lot more friction where you can sort of drag the elbow across and start to attack. This is much more difficult in NoGi. You don't have the lapels, you don't have the ability to control that. So, especially in NoGi, so from here, this is basically just preserving me. There's certain things you could do some sort of Ezekiel's but it's hard because if I can get a clean shot at his neck, I can Ezekiel him. However, if he's more in a more traditional position, there's not a lot I can do. I can hip heist to open him up, but it's very difficult for me to have anything here. So I would encourage you, this is one of the reasons why I encourage people to do both gi and NoGi, because it gives you a different element of sort of knowledge. And it's not so much the grips as much as understanding what is available and the rhythm that people play. Usually the rhythm with NoGi is a lot faster. I like NoGi because it forces you to act quickly. Now, so from here, if I'm close guard in NoGi, I don't have a whole lot. So I'm gonna go, this is sort of where I prefer to go, or with a gatame. Okay? Again, I'm going to split guard. So what I'm saying is especially if the guy is standing over us, why go to close guard and then put him in split guard? Why not skip that step and just go straight into split guard? This is going to be your best bet. So, but even if you do, make sure you off balance him. So what I'm looking for, if you do want to go into close guard, maybe you need a breather or something, just pull off balance and pull forward. Now you have close guard and you can attack whatever you might feel is appropriate from close guard. Again, your options are going to be a lot fewer without the gi. And we're out of time. Do we have any last minute questions?
Nope. He just wanted to clarify that he uses closed guard to get to perpendicular and split guard.
Yeah.
He's using
So
it.
I would actually, that's a real good point. Before we sign off, let's go over that. That's a really good point. The point is, closed guard is a step for it's more useful for gi than NoGi. So a lot of times I skip unless I need a breather. I usually will skip close guard. So I do usually, especially NoGi, I will move between split and perpendicular. Don't go into close, because once you close, you now need to again incorporate movement to go into. So this is what you're doing, right? So you go here, you pull close, and now I have to break it down to go into perpendicular, right? So why not just go skip that step and just go standing firm? Yeah, thank you. So I got a quick submission. This is done, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if he starts to drive forward, I'm going straight into perpendicular guard. There is no, so split guard is almost unnecessary movement that a lot of times people, when they get close guard, it's not just a breather for you, but it's also a breather for him. So people, especially NoGi, they can kind of relax a little bit, just kind of okay, I'm not in immediate danger. Usually with split guard, you're in immediate danger. Perpendicular guard, you are in immediate danger. Close guard, you're not. With the gi, yes, maybe, but without the gi, no. All right, guys, Ken, we apologize for the technical issues. We're trying to make this thing better. We'll talk to you next week. Guys, please help share our presence on the intraweb. Do they still call it that?
I haven't heard that term in a while.
Like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends. We'll see you next week.